All right, Hallie, you ready? The Jason and Hallie Show! Pandemic edition.
Recorded in front of a live studio audience.
Hi, this is Jason.
And Hallie,
Welcome back to the year I got the runs.
do you prefer road or trail races, Jason?
Do I prefer road or trail races? That's a hard question because they're such different animals. I love trail runs. I'm learning that. I learned that a couple of years ago. But they're hard, and it's so easy to just get up and run a road race. I guess I have to say I love them both. It's too hard to pick.
And I don't think it's fair to make a distinction because I haven't done very many trail races.
Right? No one even knows that you have run trail races.
I mean, the picture's on my Facebook.
I know, and I put the picture earlier.
But I would say something that I could draw a distinction on is morning races versus night races.
That's a good question.
And I actually prefer night racing. I did not realize that until I was on my last deployment where it was so hot that our monthly 5Ks had to be conducted in the evenings after the sun went down because we were in what they call black flag conditions where you couldn't do any type of strenuous activity during like certain levels of humidity and temperature. So I really, really, really love night races. So if anybody has any recommendations for night races, because there aren't very many, please comment and let me know.
In town or out of town?
Anywhere.
Anywhere.
Because
Okay.
there's not very many, and I do like to travel for runs. Or if I'm traveling for work and I can get in a run, then I will. So, and that was part of, I think, the redeeming quality of my Las Vegas marathon was it was to run the strip at night. And I was like, yes, night racing. It's for me.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I actually think my body is set up to run in the mornings. I have a natural rhythm like everyone else. There's certain times of the day I figured out I don't do well. But nighttime, I do fine at night, but I prefer the day. And speaking of sunlight, I'm going to shut this curtain because we have been talking for so long. The sun is coming into frame. See, look at that. So let me shut these.
All right.
Okay. Hallie, why don't you start the next question?
Next question. Are you two going to run the Tour de Trail? Oh, sorry, distracted. Are you two going to run the Tour de Trail series this year? And I believe you've got a partial answer to that question.
I got
already.
a partial answer. I am already signed up for the Tour de Trail. Or at least I reserved my spots. And I've invited Hallie, but she has a conflict on at least one. But you don't have to run the whole series.
So
You just won't get the series shirt.
which, if I remember correctly, that's one of your favorite shirts from last
It
year.
is one of my favorite shirts. Team Sparkle Productions, I need to tell you, you have some of the coolest swag out there. Your stickers and your shirts are my absolute favorite.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay. I lost track where we are. Oh, okay, here we are. What running shoes do we use? This was a fun one because I told Hallie, drag your shoes to my house.
And I was like, whoa, that's a lot of shoes.
Yeah, so I told her to pick her favorites. She doesn't have to bring her whole collection.
And I didn't.
brought a lot.
But I also realized that I usually have a pair or two that I've bought that are stashed for when I need to bust out a new pair. And I only have one pair in my stash right now. It's a very particular shoe.
Oh my God.
It's a Hoka, which I've not run in before. Though Mark, my husband, loves Hokas. That's what has saved being able to run for him with his foot pain. I've not ventured into the maximalist shoe yet. So, yeah, I need to get another pair to have on standby.
Yeah.
But after years of running in Nike Air Max Motos, after they were discontinued at one point, I started trying out different shoes. And I usually have two pair, and I really like Brooks running shoes. I ran in the Ghost for several years, and then I tried out the Levitate, After I did the Air Force Marathon in Ohio, I was at one of their local running stores, which I try to visit whenever I'm in town. And I tried one on and I thought, you know, this feels very similar. And I feel like I could like get out of my ghost comfort zone and try these. So I'm running in those right now primarily. But my alternate shoe when I'm rotating between pairs are Mizuno Wave Riders.
Okay. And I see you brought a bunch of others. Are those also Brooks?
They're not Brooks. On the Nike track would be Pegasus. These are a tried and true pair I have of Team RWB Edition Pegasus, which I only wear for special occasions, so I don't wear them out and I can support the team at certain times. But that's as far as Nike goes, that is the one shoe I'll wear from Nike. Once I like got out of those Air Max Motos and into some other brands, I really haven't gone back.
Okay.
And although I don't run in these, my UFOs, which Jason mentioned earlier that Jennifer uses to support her feet because of the really great arches and the foam for plantar fasciitis, these are my post-race footwear of choice. So if I'm doing any type of distance race, this is in my gear check bag so that as soon as I get off the course, I can get out of my running shoes, get out of my wet socks, get my Zensa calf sleeves on, and slide these babies on my feet.
Fun. Good information there. Now I only have 2 pairs. Okay, well, once again, the camera timed out, but it's perfect timing because you got through all of your stuff.
On footwear.
On footwear. So I was just starting to mention that I have one brand that I really like and 2 pairs of shoes. So for trail running, I wear these Brooks. Brooks is my absolute favorite running shoe that I found. These are my trail running shoes. They're covered in mud. I have hex bolts in the bottom. They're about the ugliest shoes I think I ever could have bought.
Yes.
But they're so comfortable. They're probably my favorite running shoe, and I wish I could wear them road running, but they're just not set up for that. And I just recently bought these Brooks Ghosts. I had a blue pair before this. I have these now, and they're so comfortable. I used to run in some other brands I'm not going to mention because I don't want to bag anybody, but they really started hurting my feet. My first half marathon and most of my first races, most of my races I ran in 2015 and 2016. I ran in Merrell Road Glove, which for you guys that don't know, they're minimalist shoes. So I was running on padding that was about that thin. And I absolutely love those shoes, but over time, the wear and tear on my knees and ankles was a little bit too much. If I could keep wearing those, I would. But it just wasn't smart for me to stick with minimalist shoes. And that's when I found Brooks. And I'm glad I did. Do we get massages after races? If you don't mind, I'm going to start on this one. I think I take advantage more than Hallie. I do like getting stretched out, but sometimes the line is too long, so I'll skip it and I'll come home and try to stretch. But Hallie and I ran a race. The name is slipping my mind. She'll know it.
Angela's Army.
Angela's Army, which we ran at the end of the year last year, had the absolute best stretch
Ever.
This guy that he's part of I don't even know. I think he's the owner of the company. I wish I could even remember the name of the company.
I want to look, so I know I have it on my phone.
We'll put it above here. We'll put it somewhere here. This guy, I'm pretty sure he was the owner. Absolute best stretch I ever got after a run.
Yes.
And unfortunately, he is so far away from where I live that I couldn't justify going to him on the regular. But I loved his stretch so much. I actually contacted him, asked him if I got a group of people at my house, would you come to my house and stretch us? And unfortunately, the business wasn't set up for that. But if you're in the Kansas City area, if Hallie can find it, I will put the information here because, oh my God, I have never felt so good after a race.
And he really put that time in, which sometimes is the detractor for me from taking advantage of the stretching or massages after a race is, like Jason said, the weight. But then also sometimes because there's so many people that, and everybody deserves a shot, it's almost a tease. And I'm one of those, like, get in there, it hurts so good. So sometimes that's something I would prefer to schedule, like, outside of racing. It's not something that I have been very diligent about as far as self-care, but I have had some really good massages lately that I'm like, you know, I need to try to do this once a month for myself because, like, mentally and physically I just felt really great.
Yeah.
So.
And I'm really bad about it. I don't stretch as much as I should. And for me, the worst part is I come home and I start editing. And I'm basically sitting on the couch editing, you know, a few hours that day and most of the next day if I actually have the luxury of being able to edit over 2 days. Sunday's races are hard because my videos go live on Monday, if you all didn't know that. So that jacks me up more than running, is running a race and then coming and sitting on the couch for hours editing. Thank you to everyone who watched. I hope you enjoyed the series. See you later.
Bye.
Bye. The Jason and Hallie Show. Pandemic edition.